always a pleasure speaking with you. You know, I've got mad love and mad respect for you, your career, everything you've done for this nation through music. And it was definitely a pleasure when I got that email and phone call from you a few months ago. It sort of set up my summertime before we get into it because you've worked on a very, very special project that we're all excited about. I have to ask, how are you doing, sir? Because yeah, the weather's definitely getting hot.
I'm doing very well. Doing well. Thank you for asking. And it's a pleasure being here. I'm doing great. Just got back from Jamaica too.
How is it over there?
Very hot, but I must say I went down to do a show with the great Ernest Ranglin and Myrna Hague and Jimmy James from London, England, at the Courtly Auditorium in Kingston, and it was amazing. Mr. Ranglin just celebrated his 90th birthday, and his wife, Junie, celebrated her 80th birthday.
Amazing, amazing. And as I use that word for you, amazing too, because I remember the conversation that we had. You said you were working on a project, something a little different, but still in the roots of your music style. Sir, for folks who don't know, what is this new music that you are releasing? Because it's something different, but something beautiful.
It's it's the blues, the foundation of the blues. The name of the album is called Confession. And I must say I covered a Ray Charles piece on in the album, and it's called Confession Blues. But what when I did my research, it said that was his first recording, or one of his first recording, 1949. And it's an amazing piece of work. So it just fit what I wanted to do with the blues. I did four originals written and arranged by written by myself and produced and arranged by the great Eddie Buller and the maestro. But what's so interesting is that the songs that I covered, like a Roscoe Gordon, Surely I Love You, Ray Charles, Confession of the Blues, Bobby Bland, you know, You Gotta Hurt Before You Heal. All these blues have some stories about them coming from the early years of the blues. Because, Rudy, the blues, the alpha and omega of the business.
Mm-hmm.
It's it brought us where we are today. Pop music, rock and roll, name it. So that was the deep focus and doing this project.
Why was this the right time to do this? To do this project? Because when I think about you and I think of your music, it's always storytelling. Was this the right time? Because again, this is one of the greatest storytelling music that has ever been created.
Right. It's a great time because of COVID. Eddie Bullen, once again, we worked on this for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yes. And when many people were locked in, Eddie was receptive, says, Jay, we are right. Come, let's work. Late nights, early morning, working. But the blues was always in my mind because as a kid in Jamaica, I grew up with the blues, coming from the sound system, coming from out of Miami, WINZ, the blues, it stayed with me. So when I came here as a young man, I started to track down some of these music because I was a little boy in Jamaica. I didn't even have a sixpence to put in the jukebox to play a Roscoe Gordon or a Ray Charles or Johnny Ace. So when I came here, I started to track these music down, found them the vinyl, so they're part of my library. So I always wanted to talk about and sing about the blues, and also give thanks for these early foundation artists because they put me where I am today.
What was
Great.
it like? What was it like working with Eddie? Because for folks who don't know, crazy that they don't know who Eddie Bullen is, one of the greatest jazz artists in this country. Forget about just jazz, just musician. Period. He is a master, and his son is an amazing drummer too.
Now his son, Trey Michael, is the drummer. Quincy plays keyboards and guitar. They're on the project, and he's got a young guitar player from uh, Grenada, Jeremy Hector. They're all there. You go to the house, they're there, the studio. And it's what's so interesting. I got them involved in the project, Eddie and myself, and you should hear their interpretation of the
Wow.
blues today, how they
Wow.
play it, how they see it. That's very interesting, you know. And of course, we can't get to mention Larnell Lewis. He's on a couple of tracks. Andrew Stewart, you know, and some of the top players in the city. Michael Arthurs, who arranged the horn section. You know, so many great players.
You know, there are so many great songs out there.
Hmm.
For you to be releasing this album is in another way of you telling another part of your life. How did you go about choosing the songs that are going to represent not just this album, but your life?
It wasn't easy, and then some of it was easy. For example, the first track on the album, Surely I Love You, by Roscoe Gordon. Now, here's a gentleman who grew up with B.B. King, Johnny Ace, the Beale Streeters.
Mhm.
That's out of Memphis. And many years ago, a promoter here, Derek Andrews, called me to put a group together for Roscoe Gordon. I thought he was kidding. He says, I'm serious. He says, okay, call Roscoe Gordon in the States. So I called the number and said, who's this? I said, this is Jay Douglas. Oh, Jay Douglas. Oh, yeah. Thank you for calling, man. So you're going to put a band together. I'm coming up to do a show. I said, yes, sir. He said, you with me? I said, yes. He says, would you put a band together with the orange section must be just all saxophone, nothing else. You hear me? I said, yes, sir. So I put the band together. We did a great show at Harbor Front. So, but Roscoe Gordon is one of the main reasons why we have reggae, rocksteady, and ska, ska,
Yes.
rocksteady, and reggae. Because the way he played the piano, and he grew up with Elvis Presley and the Sun label in Memphis. So that was easy for me to chose that for a start. And, you know, like the other cats, man, the other blues guys, I grew up listening to them. So, but uh, if I were to put everybody in this project, we would have a 200 tracks.
You know, here's the great thing too, because new music, I know there are going to be lots of performances. I caught a glimpse of this. You're going to be performing at the Sinting Fest, I do believe. It's going to be
Uh,
Eglinton West free
yes,
show. That's coming up
August August 28th.
August 28th.
Yes.
Are you going to be performing some of these songs, or is it going to be the usual
Yeah,
hits
no,
that you do?
I'll perform some too, you know, because when we can't, they're all connected. That's what the albums are about. You know, they're all connected because when you listen to our tracks, you still hear a little blue, little reggae, little ska, you know, because they're all connected. So I'll be doing some, and plus I'll be at the Harbor Front on the 30th of this month, you know, to celebrate the Jamaica 60th.
Wow.
Yes.
Just so much good. As we wrap this up, I always love to get words of wisdom from you because as we are slowly coming out of this, well, the pandemic is still here, but things are opening up. There are artists who are trying to find venues to perform at. It's not easy, as you know.
Right.
Um, just for people just being able to, even though you can see people putting smiles on themselves on Facebook, you know what you see isn't always the truth. What advice can you give folks where they can find their own truth and the fact that they can find happiness not through Facebook, but through themselves?
Yes. A very, very good question. We must start to look within ourselves first for the answer. Don't look out and come in. Look within ourselves for the answer. And guess what? Tough times don't last, but tough people will last.
You are a perfect example of that, my friend. Sir, thank you again. It's always a great and wonderful time to speak with you. Congratulations on this new album. I'm going to try to make it out to that show because I got to see you live again. I've never heard you. I've heard you perform other music.
Yeah.
Never heard the blues. So I am so looking forward to this. It's always an honor, sir, to speak with you. Thank you again.
Always an honor too, and looking forward to see you soon. And wish you all the very best in your endeavors. And by the way, I love your shirt. That Marvin Gaye shirt is, oh man, you
Yeah.
you really hit me hard today, man.
Had
Love
to
it,
had to go old school with you, my
love
friend.
it,
Had to
love
go
it,
old
love
school.
it. Oh man, you can't beat the foundation.
Nope,
You know,
nope. And you
you,
are the foundation, sir.
God bless you, my brother, and let's keep the link going forever. Thank you so much.